Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome back to Daily Mail FTM. I'm Lucas, and this week we are talking about hobbies and interests. I have a whole laundry list of hobbies and interests, so I won't bore you all day with that. The main ones that keep me busy and happy with life are mostly gaming, and I have a whole bunch of games I like to play. I'm more of a Nintendo person, I will say off the bat, just because Nintendo is my favorite thing in the whole world. I also spend a lot of time watching Netflix, and because that's really all I do with my work hours. I spend a lot of time sleeping and watching Netflix. That's my life, basically. Another one of my major hobbies is baking. I love to bake. It's been something that's been in my family for generations after generations. The only member of on my father's side that I knew um, and had a relationship with really was my great grandmother, and she taught me all of how to bake everything. I have her recipe book, and I bake all the time: banana bread, cookies, pies, cakes, anything you name it. I love to bake. So anytime that there's like an event or a birthday or anything like that, everybody always asks me to bake something, and I do. I love to bake. It's something that I find calming in my own way. I can kind of do how I want to, do what I want, and it tastes delicious. Obviously, baking is delicious no matter what it is. Music is also another one of my huge hobbies. I've been playing guitar since I was 11 years old, and my dad gave me one of his guitars. I have I can't remember, it's like a Frankenstein. It's like a whole bunch of different parts in one. He basically built it. It has a Les Paul body, but it has some other parts to it. It's a Fender, and it was my first guitar, and well, it's my only guitar right now, but I also play bass guitar, and I was in a couple bands in high school because I was one of those people, and not only do I love to play music, I love to listen to music as well. I don't leave the house without my iPod with all my music on there. It's like my child. It's more important to me than my phone or anything else, really. My iPod is like my best friend in a lot of cases. I bring it in my car, I go when I'm at work, anywhere, it's always with me. Art is another one of my hobbies. I also took on that when I was in high school. I was in advanced placement art, which is a course that you take in high school. You have to be asked to be in the class, though. You can't just go in the class. It's one of those, I'm sure there's AP classes everywhere, but art is one of those things where it's dependent on your skill and your style and your determination in the class. And so I was selected to do that in high school. I didn't do very well, actually, because you have to send a portfolio of your concentration into, we had to send ours to the States, and I almost failed the class because they didn't like my style. And that was a huge damper on my art history and and I kind of stopped drawing for a while. I always wanted to be a tattoo artist. I love tattoos. The idea of body art like that is fascinating. And I've always wanted to do that, but my parents and all that kind of stuff kind of put a damper on that for me because it's not a guaranteed job, and plus you have to be like really good, otherwise you won't make money, and it's a hard profession to get into, so I just kind of lost interest in it, unfortunately. So now I just draw on the side. That's basically it. I don't do a lot more than that. I've never been into sports or really anything like that. I'm very independent. Most of my hobbies are independent hobbies. I do them by myself because that's just how I grew up, and that's how I've always been. So that's basically it. So that'll be it for this video, and I'll see you guys next week. Have a good week, everyone.